On February 3, 2000 at WWF New York, Vince McMahon held a press conference to announce his football league, the XFL, that would start 1 year later in 2001. The league had no teams, players, stadiums, coaches, or a TV deal. In the months to follow, a lot of things would have to come into place for this league to get off the ground. Later in the year, everything would come together. A TV deal with NBC made the network 50-50 owners of the XFL along with the WWF. The games would be held on 3 TV networks: NBC, TNN, the then home of Monday Night Raw, and UPN, the then home of SmackDown. Next, the teams, coaches, and stadiums would fall into place. In the Eastern Division would be the Birmingham Thunderbolts, coached by Jerry DiNardo, a former star player at the University of Notre Dame, and previously was the head coach of Vanderbilt University and Louisiana State University. They would play in Legion Field in Birmingham. The next team would be the Chicago Enforcers, who would play in legendary Soldier Field. The original head coach that was announced was Hall of Fame linebacker Dick Butkus. But just before the season started, he resigned to take a position in the XFL office. He was replaced by Ron Meyer, a former NFL head coach from the 80s who had not coached professional football since 1994 with the Las Vegas Posse, a CFL American expansion team. He previously coached at SMU from 1976 to 1981 and the New England Patriots from 1982 to 1984. From there, he would then go to coach the Indianapolis Colts from 1986 to 1991 before going to the CFL. The third team in the Eastern Division would be the New York, New Jersey Hitmen. The head coach was former NFL assistant Rusty Tillman. They would play in Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The last team in the Eastern Division would end up being the Orlando Rage. They played at Orlando's Florida Citrus Bowl and were coached by former Florida Gators head coach Galen Hall. Now on to the Western Division, whose first team would be the Las Vegas Outlaws. They were coached by former Boise State and Scottish Claymores of the World League, Jim Kreiner. This team would be the home of XFL legend He Hate Me, aka Rod Smart. The team would call the Sam Boyd Stadium home in 2001. The second team in the West was the Los Angeles Extreme, who were coached by Al Luginbull, who coached for San Diego State and the Amsterdam Admirals in the World League, and the Extreme would play in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, aka the Coliseum. Our third team in the Western Division would be the Memphis Maniacs. The head coach was Kippy Brown. As of this recording, this would be Kippy's first and only head coaching job. They would play at the Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. The last XFL team would end up being the San Francisco Demons, who would play at Pacific Bell Park, now AT&T Park, home of the MLB's San Francisco Giants. The head coach would be Jim Skipper, getting his first coaching job in pro football. The first game would feature New York, New Jersey Hitmen going on the road to face off with the Las Vegas Outlaws, where Vince McMahon would welcome us to the game.
This is the
The XFL would experience huge TV ratings in the start and would end up with some of the lowest in TV ratings history. The league would not come back after NBC pulled its support after the inaugural season, making the Los Angeles Extreme the one and only XFL champions until now. On January 25th, 2018, Alpha Entertainment announced a new incarnation of the XFL, which would begin with a 10-week inaugural season beginning in January or February in 2020 and would feature 8 teams. So this Wednesday, they will announce where the teams would be placed this time around in the XFL. Now I will make my picks, where I would put 5 teams if I was in charge of placing teams in this reincarnation of the XFL. Number 1, St. Louis, Missouri. One of the top 2 cities I think the XFL should be in. After the Rams packed up and moved to Los Angeles, St. Louis was left without a football team and a huge empty dome. If the XFL were to come back to St. Louis, they would likely play in the dome that was known as the Edward Jones Dome, now named the Dome at America's Center. I don't know how the Dome has been kept up with, or if it's held any events since the Rams left in 2016. If and when the XFL brings football back to the St. Louis area, I think they should bring in St. Louis football legends such as Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, Orlando Pace, Isaac Bruce, and Torrey Holt. Bringing these legends from the Greatest Show on Turf era and the St. Louis Rams era of football to build excitement around the team with a nostalgic feeling for those who were Rams fans in their heyday. Number 2, San Diego, California. The second top city I think the XFL should have a team in 2020. When the Chargers followed the Rams to Los Angeles, the people of San Diego were not too happy. They went to the team's headquarters and were burning jerseys, t-shirts, and anything they could get their hands on to protest the move to LA. If the XFL were to put a team in San Diego, I believe they would play in former Qualcomm Stadium, now known as the SDCCU Stadium. It's home of the San Diego Aztecs football team from San Diego State University, and they host one college college football bowl game, the Holiday Bowl, every December. With the stadium in working condition, they will have to find a way to get people into the games, whether that's bringing in San Diego State Aztecs, who haven't gotten a chance in the NFL, or getting some former Chargers to play in the league, such as Danny Woodhead, who played in San Diego for 4 seasons. Eddie Royal, who played for the Chargers for 3 seasons, might be looking to get back in the game and could bring some fans into the new team. And at the rate he's going, Antonio Gates could be looking for a team in 2020, and a return to San Diego would be something great to see in what could be his swan song season of pro football. The people will definitely come out to watch the all-time great play in their town for one last time. Number 3, Oakland, California. With the Raiders rolling the dice and moving to Las Vegas in 2020, I think Oakland would be a great spot for a team. If the Coliseum is still usable by 2020, they could play there. The Raiders have some of the most passionate fans in all of sports, and with the team in a complete rebuild with their old/new coach John Gruden trading away All-Pro Khalil Mack to the Bears and former All-American at Alabama and first-round pick Amari Cooper to the Cowboys for a first-round pick, and a seeming split from Derek Carr on the horizon, a competitive team in Oakland would be nice to see for the fans who've had to suffer through the 2000s with a mediocre football team. If they really wanted to, they can make a team out of failed draft picks by the organization such as Jamarcus Russell and Rolando McClain, but the XFL would want the team to be good. Some prospects I think could fit in the market are Darren McFadden, who looked like he would be a cornerstone of the franchise for years to come, but his career was plagued by injuries. McFadden could be looking for one last spark. Marquette King would be someone I would look into bringing to the league. While the punter isn't one of the big positions to bring people in, King is a different kind of punter. He showed in the past in Oakland he had the leg and the showmanship ability. King was recently released by the Denver Broncos in 2018 and could be in the hunt for a new team come 2020. I think a return to Oakland would be a great fit. Lastly is Sebastian Janikowski. He is looked at by most Raider fans as the best kicker to ever do it. Janikowski is currently playing for the Seattle Seahawks at the age of 40 and would be 42 by the time the XFL kicks off in 2020. But as we've seen in the kicking game, age is just a number, with Adam Vinatieri still kicking at a high level at the age of 45. A return to Oakland with Janikowski could pull at all the hearts of the Raider fans and help make a splash in the area. Number 4, San Antonio, Texas. Let's face it, Texas loves football. One of the biggest cities always rumored to be in the mix for a team is San Antonio. With the Spurs in the NBA looked at as the model of consistency, the team would have to be very good. I think with the huge market of football players in Texas, the XFL team in San Antonio would be the league leader in attendance if they went that route. Getting players from the universities of Texas, Texas A&M, TCU, Texas Tech, Baylor, Houston, and SMU, people from all over Texas would want to come see their former players move up to the next level. Players like Trevon Boykin, Jeremy Curley, and Ryan Swoop would all be looking for second chances to play football, and San Antonio would be a great spot to do it. They would call the Alamo Dome home. Number 5, New Jersey. A state that's already the home of 2 NFL teams in MetLife Stadium, the Giants and the Jets, that claim New York as where they hail from. A team that would represent the state would be great to see. With the state of New Jersey only having one pro team and the Devils in the NHL, and with a joke of a football team at Rutgers, the bar would not be high for a football team in New Jersey. The team would be the 3rd football team to play at MetLife Stadium, with the Jets and Giants being in the bottom half of the NFL. The team in the XFL, if good, could claim that they're the best football team in the area. Pulling fans from New York and Pennsylvania, New Jersey would be the XFL's home of Northeast football. During the first run of the XFL, the New York-New Jersey Hitmen had the 2nd best attendance in the league, and a return to the area would look to better that this time around. So that'll do it for my picks for 5 cities to have an XFL team. Leave your picks in the comments section below, and if you like the video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more and be kept up to date, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.